Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is your host, June Archer, and I'm here to talk to the amazing Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, one of the cast members from A House Divided. And A House Divided follows the members of the wealthy and esteemed Sanders family. This family is a direct descendant of Letty Sanders, a slave who became the richest black woman in what was the newly formed city of Los Angeles. Following the passing of the family's present day matriarch, secrets are uncovered, scandals emerge about this family, and they are forced to band together for the sake of the survival of a long standing legacy. My brother Lawrence Hilton Jacobs plays Cameron Sr., and he's here to talk about this new season. Please welcome to the show, brother Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. How are
Right
you,
on,
brother?
baby boy. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I mean
Man,
that.
it is amazing to have you. We could talk about uh, all the work, the body of work that you have put in up to this point. But I would be remiss to say, listen, you have been such an amazing talent. Welcome back, Carter, Claudine,
Wow.
Joe Jackson. So
Yeah.
many amazing, iconic characters. How do you continuously keep yourself motivated to come back to play these different characters to give us your best self, brother Lawrence?
You know something? I take it as a high honor and a blessing. When somebody even thinks of me and asks me to play a diversity of characters. Part of it's decided. As a young actor, I decided you don't have to pigeonhole yourself and just play the one thing. Even when I was a young actor doing things like Cooley High and Claudine and all that, or Welcome Back, Kotter, I played a teenager, but I found different approaches to play them because there's diversity in all of us. So the opportunities that come along, I take as a grace. It's fun to figure out how to do it. I'm a little bit half nuts, so that has something to do with it. I just enjoy it. I enjoy just giving the truth of it. And it's kind of funny for me when I play a character and I get into it and I get so absorbed. And if you saw me on a set, a lot of times you'll see me pacing and focusing in, and it's not that not don't mess with me. I'm just into it. But then when it's over, I just move on, and let's go off and go kiss the grandbabies or get a hamburger or something,
Now,
like
now, when
anything
you
else.
talk about moving on and being able to pivot, there are a lot of people during this time who are going through a lot of things with COVID, with people passing away. What is the
Sure.
best piece of advice that you have been given that can shed light to those who are trying to just find the light at the end of the tunnel to allow them to be able to make that same pivot and understand that yeah, death is sad, but it is a part of life. It is cyclical, but what is the best piece of advice you could give someone to
A
allow
piece,
them to help
if,
pivot?
if, if we want to call it advice, I would say this is just a reality. We must follow the rules. There are rules in life, always are. In these times that we're going through in these last couple of years of COVID and the strains of it and the restrictions of it, it's no joke. Please, people, get vaccinated. Cut the baloney if be on the fence about that, because it's a preventative. It's not. It's just something to help you along the way. Should it happen to you, you won't be hospitalized and you can be attended and you won't die, as I've lost some people recently from it and a relative. So that's not cool at all. So there are certain rules that we must follow. We must be honest to ourselves. Everything is based out of honesty. That's how that's my key as an actor. You have to come from a truthful place to be able to let it be imagined in a fictitious creative environment or idea. That is life. That's raising your children. That's relationships. I heard you mention that your wife was from Jamaica. My family is from the West Indies, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. So, I know how to talk it up too, man. I know the flavors and all them thing there, man. And so very truthful cultural people, about family love, dedicated to it. It comes from that avenue for me is that we must start with the basis of being honest and paying attention to what is the truthful rule and letting it happen. Everything has its growth passages, but we got to help it along. Like even prayer, you can pray, but you got to help it.
Gotta help it. We are here now. Season 4 of A House Divided. Cameron
Yeah.
Sr. has found himself through scandal, through finding himself in between a love triangle. Like, what can we expect from Cameron Sr.? Uh, a lot of things have gone wrong leading into this season. What can we expect from Cameron Sr.?
But outside of him getting his own personal psychiatrist, beyond that, where the character is going and what am deciding or playing along is I wanted to from the very season 1 now into season 4 I wanted to have a slow growth of who this guy was, so you can learn, you have some discoveries about him, not just try to give it all up. So what's happening in this 4th season, without giving away all the stories is that there's a little more venom in him, a little more anguish. There's a lot more emotion. There's a lot more of having to make tough decisions in an emotional roller coaster or teeter totter of his life, because it's all about, for him, it's about his kids and trying to keep the family going forward, but also feeling what is truthful. Like my involvement with the Lisa Ray character of Alexis, that's a true love for me. But the way it happened to the left because she's my sister's sister, my wife's sister.
Right.
And so, how do you balance something like that, or how do you face that kind of truth in the pressure of trying to run a business and raise a family and have personal integrity and feel that you're honest in that? That's always a tax for anybody. When somebody says, "Be yourself, be real," you said, "I've got to be real, man, but I don't have the money for the rent," or
Right.
so and so called me, the N word or something like that. How do I handle it? These are the oppositions that are happening to Cameron, and he's facing them straight on. He's not shying away from anything. So that's my approach. That's what's happening.
And there was a line that I really loved with your castmate Demetria. And in this interaction, you said that's just not what the Sanders men do, right? It's not what Sanders men do. For young men who get lost along the way, what would be the best key to success that you could give a young man who's kind of lost in trying to figure out who he is in his relationship and wanting to do the right thing? If you were to give your younger self some advice,
I
um,
believe this. I believe that we're all merited. We all are worthwhile, but we must be honest to our limitations. We know when we're BSing. We just know it. So face that. Understand that because you're ignorant doesn't mean you're stupid. It means that you don't have the fact or maybe certain knowledge. So you can grow to that. It's planting a seed and letting the tree grow, and you cultivate it. That's how we grow as people. That's how we grow as life. That's how I grow as an actor. I must allow things to have its progression. So, if it's an advice to a young person, is that don't be full of with yourself. As my daughter would say, sugar, honey, iced tea when she was younger. Being full of that. All the first letters, and approach it from an honest place, which is your truth, your heart, and your experience. The people around you who love you, who care about you, they'll be down with you all the way. At the same time, they'll test you, but you have to come from the truth of yourself to be able to make sense of going forward. That is who I am as a man, certainly as Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, Larry Jacobs. And certainly in playing Cameron Sanders, the matriarch of this family, patriarch, whatever, matriarch, I always get them mixed up, but the lead of this family, I have to have a through line that has to be developed in time. So my keys is that it's about love, it's about integrity, it's about commitment, it's about not being dishonest, and understanding that in order to succeed, you can fail to succeed better. That's not it's not against God. It's not a wrong thing. I mean,
now,
I'm a little deep here, but that's the feeling.
no, I love that. For you, I want you to step outside of Cameron Sr. And for you, brother Larry, what is your love language? For 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 men who are not in that space of wanting to be vulnerable and pride and ego gets in the way, I want, men of color especially to figure out how we can better become better men and better husbands, spouses, partners.
So when
What's
I'm
your love
learning,
language, brother?
in all these years of my living, my 68 years of living, as I got really into my 60s, out of my 50, when I was 61, 60ish, I really learned to be a lot more open and delicate with my emotions. If I have to cry, I will. If I'm, in love with my lady and it's not working out, and we have to have a talk, I'd rather talk to her straight. And if the tears come, it doesn't mean I'm losing my manhood. It means that I'm showing my feelings and I'm showing my truth, and it's overwhelming for me. And sometimes, I have a friend who years ago, he was a gay guy, but he's a good buddy. But he said a thing to me that I thought was funny. He says, "Oh, Larry, every once in a while, you got to let your mind take a piss." And whatnot. So you got to let it out, man. I get that. This is who we are as people. As black men, we're put on target because they see us coming, 5 blocks away, and they decide us a lot of times. So we have to deal with those connotations all the time. We're cool with it and we understand it, but that puts a certain tax on us. But we must know first that we are worth it. We are special. We have a reason to be here. We can wear that in an attitude, and we must demand a respect, in our posture as we give it. That'll help us to stay strong and go forward. We ain't taking no BS. Period. I won't. And I teach that down the line with the kids. No, don't ever, ever. And I say this to my brothers and sisters all the time. Never give away your power to nobody.
Mm, I love
Nobody.
that.
You
I
know,
love
because
that.
if you give away your spirit and your power, then you're lost, and you may never find it again. It's hard to regrow yourself. So those kind of elements, Larry Jacobs, but I also bring some of that flavoring, slow but sure, through Cameron, which I think is going to show a lot more in this fourth season. As we go on to the further seasons, you'll be able to develop that even further. That's where
And
I'm coming.
how does it feel to be on your fourth season? Because we know nowadays people have a very short attention span. You have made it to your fourth season. How does that feel?
It feels good to get a steady paycheck for it. It's fantastic. The fans are really into it. And it's like anything, it takes time to find a place. And in a television show, you have to find it. By this fourth season, or certainly by the second season, but by the third season, people I would run into in a hardware store, and they're like, "Oh my God, when's it coming on? What's going to happen next?" And oh my God, that Demetria, that Clarissa, and Carissa. I mean, and they were just it's fantastic, that we have gone this far. I take part of the credit to it is that we're bringing the goods and stuff like that. That's not an ego talking. That's just because it takes work. It's a very
Takes
big
work.
collaborative effort. Our writer, producer, creator Dan Garcia writes all this stuff, and he has to sit down thinking of while he's raising three children of his own, and he has a wife, and stuff like that. So that's very involving. Everybody has kids on the show or families, and we're all involved as a family doing the show. There's a high respect. Myself and Lisa Reyes, in a special way, I've known her for almost 25 years. We're great friends. We definitely like each other. It's just easy for us on that. So in playing this part, it's not a fantasy of who we are to each other. It's a naturality of trust that allows us to be able to be mature in playing this relationship that has difficulties. And I think that's what makes people interested in saying, something, there's something to these two people. And I want to find out what that might be, because it ain't just, about she's cute, or, she likes him, or he got money. There's something a little more depthful. That's the thrust of it for me as an actor. But I also relate it to life. In order to go forward in life, you have to have reason. It has to come from somewhere. In order to go somewhere, you got to be coming from somewhere. Even myself as an actor or a director, whenever I do a scene, especially if I'm directing, I'll say, okay, this is where we are in the scene, but this is what precedes, this is where you are, and this is where we're going. To always have a through line. That is life. We have to think about that. So to young brothers out there who are doing it, stay strong, stay black, wear that in your heart and wear it on your sleeve and stuff like that. Never be no fool, for nobody, refuse to be a fool, because ignorance can be crushed. And there's only a choice. Life is choice. That is that simple. Bang.
Lastly, I want to ask you this. You just mentioned 68 years young. That is, with all the work that you've done in traveling this earth, music is a soundtrack to our lives, Brother Larry. For you, what song best represents your journey up to this point throughout these past 68 years? You got a lot of life left, a lot of work left to do. But what is the sound? What is that song that
I can
resonates
tell you
with you?
there's two songs. The first one that really was well, actually there's three. One was a James Brown song, If I Ruled the World. If I ruled the world, every day would be such a joy. I mean, it's such simple emotion he captured. Earth, Wind, and Fire has the song That's the Way of the World, which I love forever. And they have that line, the child is born with a heart of gold. The child is born with a heart of gold. Way of the world makes his heart so cold. Deep, deep, deep stuff, man. And so when I listened to and then before I got cast doing the Jacksons movie, I was going through a financial crisis, and it was real tough on me. And I happened to be going to the audition for the movie, and I put on a tape, and it had Natalie Cole singing "Smile." Smile though your heart is breaking, smile even though it's aching. And it got to me, and it inspired me and let me know that no matter how tough it is, or no matter how many odds against you, you can still win. But you have to decide that you want to do that. Do the work, don't trip, make it happen. So those are the through lines for me. If we're using songs, those three songs were, a moniker for me through life.
Brother Lawrence, thank you so much. The new season, fourth season, is back. A House Divided, featuring Brother Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. Please tune in. Thank you so much, Brother Larry. This is
Thank you,
June
bro.
Archer for the Winner Circle. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless you.
You
Peace.
got it, baby. Keep it tight.
Yes, sir.
Catch you later.
Peace.